You're listening to The L Zone.
Hello, welcome to the L Zone with me, Latricia Marie, coming to you today with a topic I want to run by you all. This one is talking about dealing with the loss of people. I don't think we have these discussions amongst ourselves the right way, or we may not even bring it up. But how do you deal with the loss of a person or a group of people or people in general? Um, like over the years, I'll say at least the last 10 years, it can come off when people um, leave your life. You can't outgrow them, or situations happen where you're not around them. They've wronged you, or something like that. Um, it can come off like people think you're supposed to just move past it and move forward. You can move forward, but let's not negate the fact that there's still a loss, right? So when I say dealing with the loss, how do you actually process the loss of a friendship or a romantic partner or a child? If y'all are having a strained relationship. Now, this is not for people who've lost them physically. They passed on. This is for people that you've walked away from. Let me clear that up. So I just wanted to give my 3 steps or 3 tips that I had to sit down and marinate on and bake in them for a while. And after a couple of years, I was like, what helped me? Because I want to help you. The first one is, when you're dealing with the loss, of course, you're acknowledging that you lost somebody, but how do you handle it? First one is grieve. Grieve it, but set a time frame for that grief. Set a time frame for the stages during that grief. For example, if I've lost somebody and I know it's going to hit me a certain way, okay, how long do I sit in the loss of this person? I can still I can be on autopilot and function to the best of my ability, but how long do I dwell on what happened, the situation, having this wave of up and down roller coaster emotion, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give it about a week or two to grieve the initial shock. Well, let's just say shock of losing this particular person or people. Okay, after 2 weeks, I need to move into the accepting part of the grieving process. I've accepted that this person is not finna be in my day-to-day like that. What's my time frame from there? And then as you are steady moving forward, being productive and dealing with the loss of the person, it gets a lot easier. You can reminisce on them, nostalgia, things gonna happen. You may run into them, but the way that you choose to grieve them is what's either going to trigger you to set back and fall into old habits or not. Is it going to trigger you and you go into a rage of anger and letting this person have it when you see them because they run it? None of that. Give yourself time to grieve, but put a time frame on each part of the process. I'm not going to stay there longer than a week. I want to be able to free myself of feeling like this within at least 6 months, no more than a year, depending on the situation or the person. It could be a family member. Give yourself the time, but don't linger there, because people can grieve and they hold on to that shit for like 20 years. Don't do that to yourself. Don't do that to yourself. Hold to a time frame. Not saying you can't go through the process, but don't stay there too long. Realistically, it's not healthy for you. It's just not. But like I said, this is just tips to help you move forward in a better way to handle the loss of people or a person. 2, write down your part and why the loss happened. It goes back to, okay, what could I have done differently? Because if you don't know or don't visit that, you're going to keep repeating the same BS with the next person. And then you're going to lose another person. Or they're going to kind of distance themselves and you don't know why. How do I not repeat this process with people? I'll say, for example, if you have a habit of being either, I don't want to say people pleaser, but you don't have like boundaries, and then all of a sudden something happens or whatever, and you allow this person to do certain things because you don't have boundaries. Now you done walked away, or maybe they done went to another source for, that, because you done did something. Write that down. Why don't I have boundaries with this person? How do I begin to have boundaries with people? What makes me feel like I need to do this? What am I getting out of this connection from this person? Those type of things. Because once you start writing them down and you have to answer those, it's kind of forcing you to face certain things within yourself and learning from it. Life is forever learning. If you don't learn, you're not growing. If you're not growing, you're not doing better for yourself. Just being honest. But then there's number 3. Number 3 is basically set a goal on how you move forward. Basically, let's say, okay, I lost this person. I'm not finna set a goal of, if they see me, I'm finna be on this. It's not a show off thing. So get that out your head. I mean, how do you become better to where your energy is felt differently? They can't even approach you the same way if you choose to let them back in your life like that. It's an internal transformation that happens when you set different goals for yourself. How do I move better next time? And then if you choose to let this person back in, how do you move forward that way? Set certain goals for yourself. Set a goal of, okay, if I recognize this particular thing, because this is what happened last time to where I had to remove myself from somebody, I need to be able to recognize it so I can either, depend on person, correct them, explain to them, not bringing up the old shit, but just explaining, hey, I really don't shake like that. That's not how I move. Or remove yourself. Just distance yourself. It's okay. But when you set goals like that for yourself, you're opening the door for people who really are about you, that want to do right by you. And you got to remove the fluff, the junk people, the BS people, the negative. You got to be able to remove that, because now you open up a whole new space for you to just have a thriving life, with people. This is my 2 cents. But anyway, those are my 3 tips for how to deal with loss, because it's not easy and there's more tips coming, but those are just 3 starters, and they hard. They are, because you got to answer your own questions. You don't need to go to nobody else, because then now they're bringing their own into it and they didn't experience that with somebody. Now you putting a bad taste in their mouth about somebody that you have an issue with, or you had a falling out with, and that you had to remove yourself from. They didn't. Learn the art of shutting up. It's a beautiful thing. It keeps it just strictly your experience. What did you do? How do you move forward? Setting goals for yourself, setting boundaries for yourself. That process. But let me know what you think, and I hope you all had a good listen. Take care.